Welcome to the deep dive. We've got a stack of source material today, specifically excerpts from a book called Proven Guilty. Looks really intense.
It really does. And our plan here, our mission for this deep dive, isn't just, reading a summary. We want to really unpack it.
Right. Get into the events, the characters.
Pull out that hidden knowledge,
hmm
maybe find some surprising facts, those insights that make you go, huh, okay.
Yeah, definitely. And the source material itself, it feels immediate. Like you're right there, first person.
Totally. It just drops you into Chicago, but it's this blend, isn't it? Like everyday struggles, fixing up your apartment,
Yeah, money worries.
mixed with magic, monsters, these ancient powers. It's fast, it's personal, and boom, you're in the middle of some serious situations.
Throws you right in. And based on these pages, we're going to meet some key players. This wizard character seems like he's dealing with consequences.
Yeah, definitely wrestling with past actions.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a police detective. Feels like there's more to her than meets the eye.
Mm-hmm. A friend's daughter in trouble, supernatural allies, enemies, the whole deal.
It's a packed world.
So yeah, get ready. We're going to look at strange abilities, hidden magical politics, some desperate fights it looks like, and how personal choices just slam into these huge forces. Let's unpack this.
Okay, so right off the bat, the sources hit you with the personal cost. This wizard, the speaker, he's thinking back on killing someone called the corpse taker.
And the sources make it clear this wasn't easy, even though it sounds like it was, deliberate, rational.
A necessary evil kind of thing.
Pretty much. This corpse taker was a necromancer, dangerous, lethal magic, death curses involved. The speaker felt there was little choice, had to be stopped.
But it still haunts him
Yeah.
in his dreams.
Yeah, exactly. It shows that weight, the psychological toll of taking a life, even when you feel or know it was justified.
And that weight, it connects back, doesn't it, to earlier stuff like the Red Court Vampire War.
Right. He actually says he kicked off that war, rescuing someone he cared for.
But didn't quite save her. That's how he puts it. She was touched by that darkness, battling this bloodthirst. But interestingly, this led her to the Fellowship of St. Giles,
Okay, what's that? The fellowship.
described as a group for outcasts like her, people who don't fit. And the source calls them a surprisingly formidable ally.
So maybe not traditional power, but resilience, community.
Exactly. The insight there is that strength doesn't always come from the usual places. Armies, councils, it can come from shared struggle, just refusing to break, a different kind of power dynamic.
Interesting. And there's a physical toll too, right? He mentions getting hurt.
Yeah, hit a couple of times, on purpose
Yeah.
but then he has to lie about it.
Tell the cops it was an honest accident to Detective Grayson.
Yep. Just a small detail, but it says so much. Life's brutal, and he's constantly juggling these two worlds, hiding the magical reality.
Speaking of juggling worlds, the sources really show that blend. Mundane stuff like home renovation.
Oh yeah, linoleum, carpet, tile. And finding out it's way harder than the Time Life homeowner books make it look.
Haha. Been there. And the money struggles too. Can't afford a contractor for a broken door.
Apparently, his pay rate from the White Council is still set in 1959. Seriously.
Wow, okay. Try living in modern Chicago on that,
Yeah.
while saving the world.
Right, but then in his lab, amidst all that mess, he's working on something else. Tinkering with that stupid thing every night for 6 months.
That stupid thing. That's Bob, right? The skull.
Bob the Skull.
Yeah.
An intelligent spirit in a skull. He's kind of the comic relief, grumbling about the work pace, Harry's haircut.
Saying he's growing a cowlick and buck teeth.
Exactly. And Harry just dismisses him with pish-tosh, which he might not even know the meaning of. It's a fun dynamic.
So what are they tinkering on?
Okay, this is big. Little Chicago. It's a magical model of the city, super detailed.
Made from actual bits of Chicago. Bark, asphalt.
Yeah, actual physical pieces. It's sympathetic magic. If it works.
What can it do?
Huge potential. Track lost objects, listen in on conversations, follow people. Basically extend his magical reach across the whole city from his lab. Makes his home base way more powerful.
Okay, that sounds incredibly useful, but also dangerous. Which brings the rules, right? The laws of magic.
Definitely. There's this talk with Murphy, the detective, about mind magic.
The psychic arm lock.
Right. He uses this kind of casual example, like a young wizard trying to use it on the head cheerleader, but it highlights a serious danger.
And the council's view on that is extreme. Execution. Why?
The source is blunt. Getting into someone's mind like that is difficult and dangerous. It's seen as incredibly invasive, easily corrupting, tampering with free will. That's a line the council doesn't let anyone cross. It's the ultimate penalty. Shows how rigid they are.
And that hard line on mind magic kind of sets up this next big thing. A warning comes in from the gatekeeper.
Yeah, the gatekeeper, a major figure, warns there's black magic happening in town, and he thinks Harry needs to step in.
Which creates a dilemma, right, because of Little Chicago.
Exactly. Bob the Skull is nervous about testing the model now. Says it might not work. And if it's flawed, it could be very bad for you.
And very bad memes.
Not just a spell backfiring. We're talking temporal instabilities, maybe creating new parallel realities. The gatekeeper deals with some heavy stuff, knowledge about time and reality. Messing that up could even drive the gatekeeper insane.
Whoa. Okay, so huge personal risk versus maybe catastrophic consequences. Use the risky tool now. Maybe stop the black magic fast, but risk himself.
Or wait. Play it safer for himself. Rely on friends reporting things.
But people will likely die if he waits. The source says black magic isn't the kind of thing that leaves people whole behind it.
It's a terrible choice. High stakes, not enough information. Classic hero dilemma, really.
And while he's wrestling with that, his personal life explodes. He gets a call. Molly Carpenter.
Right. Described as having a PhD in wheedling, sounds like she's good at getting her way.
She calls sounding desperate.
Totally. A lot of trouble at home, can't explain, need your help. He's reluctant because of the whole black magic thing, but he agrees.
And when he sees her, she's got this whole look going on. Fishnets, combat boots.
Neon laces, tank top, bolero, a SplatterCon button, dyed hair, tattoos, piercings. She's deep in the scene.
SplatterCon, a horror convention.
Yep. And she's Nelson's girlfriend. Nelson's the one in trouble, needs bail, and she's apparently the guest of honor at the con.
Okay. So Harry's reaction is parental. Tells her to see her folks.
Yeah, but pretty bluntly. Says it's the smart thing to do, the legal thing, the right thing. He pulls the "I'm not your dad, not a nice person" card.
It emphasizes this is distracting him from life-saving work.
Absolutely. Says her stupid stunt diverted him. Even throws out that thread about duct tape and UPS. It's harsh, but maybe necessary.
Tough love, definitely. And her parents' reactions are different.
Seems like it. Michael, the dad. Sounds gentle, accepting. Turn the other cheek about her look. Harry internally thinks she's dressed like Frankenhooker with cotton candy hair, though.
Ha! And the mom, Charity.
Likely a different story, the source says. Sets up some family tension he's walking into.
So, SplatterCon, this horror convention hotel, this is where the black magic really kicks off, isn't it? The place is full of costumes.
Yeah, lines blur between make-believe and fashion, the source says. But then it gets very real. Harry finds Officer Rollins.
Guarding a crime scene. A bathroom.
Yep. Yellow tape and everything.
Yeah.
Rollins explains Nelson got arrested. No physical evidence against him for attacking this guy, Clark Pell.
But he was the only one who could have done it, according to the records, and the victim couldn't talk.
Right. Rollins was hoping Nelson might confess if he was just an accomplice, but
yeah,
nothing. He stayed quiet.
And this is where Harry uses his sight, sees things.
In the bathroom, yeah. Sees spectral stuff, feels dread, confirms it. Found the black magic the gatekeeper warned me about.
And Rollins notices his reaction.
Big time. Rollins gets concerned. Then things escalate. Harry senses the trail.
The bad guy trail.
Yeah. And Rollins, scared but doing his job, follows him. Gun out, flashlight, into sudden darkness, panic, real screams, not fake convention ones.
And the air gets cold, thick.
Like wading through waist-deep water. They push through to conference rooms, see a door ripped off its hinges, horrible screams inside.
Harry tells Rollins to call Murphy, his more clued-in contact.
Yeah, says Murphy and her boys might actually be able to do something. We aren't playing for pennies here. Rollins sees a dead body and agrees immediately. Calls it in.
And after that attack, they find someone hurt.
A girl, Rosie, injured, whimpering. Rollins is just stunned. My God, what happened here? There's ectoplasm spirit goo on the wall, a Reaper-shaped dent.
Oof. And Rosie.
Track marks. She's stretchered out, yeah. Small round marks, irregular bruises, damaged capillaries, track marks. And Molly helps cover her arm. A little detail, but important later.
Okay, so police are involved now, deeply involved. Detective Green interviews Harry.
And it does not go well. Harry tries to explain using magic, like blooming 30 feet through the projector.
And Green's just not buying it.
Totally skeptical. Makes him repeat it. Harry feels like Green suspects him. And he knows cops like Rollins often stay quiet about the weird stuff to avoid, psych evaluations. So he can't be fully honest. It's frustrating.
Murphy shows up, though, confirms Pell was badly beaten, and they discuss the possibility movie monsters coming to life.
Yeah, Harry basically says, looks that way. The scarecrow from the movie Harvest gets mentioned again. It's linked to Nelson, and Harvest is playing at the Cannes Movie Fest.
So Harry figures out what it is, this attacker.
He identifies it as a phobophage, a spirit entity that feeds on fear.
Feeds on fear. Wow, so it attacks just to scare people?
Primarily, yeah, to generate its food source. And it needs a physical body to interact directly.
So how do you fight something like that?
That's the problem. He doesn't know how to beat this specific type yet. And there's a catch-22, shutting down the convention. Seems logical, right?
Yeah, get people out of danger.
But that would cause mass panic, intense fear, which would basically be like ringing the dinner bell for the phobophage. You would attract it even more strongly, make things worse.
Okay, so the situation is escalating. But Harry's not totally alone. His brother shows up, Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas arrives at Harry's place. Not much stuff with him. Been working crazy hours, 80 and 90-hour weeks.
Proud of supporting herself, maybe.
Seems like it. And the source confirms what he is. A White Court vampire.
White Court. They feed on emotions, right? Not blood.
Exactly. Thomas feeds on lust. The source suggests this feeding helps him manage the darker hunger, the self-loathing tied to his vampire nature. There's a harsh quote mentioned, possibly from someone called Madrigal, about needing a dark-eyed whore, which really underlines the specific nature of it.
Yikes. Complicated. And then he has dealings with the Fae courts, too. Meets Fix and Lily.
At Mac's bar, yeah. Fix is the summer knight, Lily the summer lady. The source notes they've both grown up a lot, changed.
They talk about problems between the courts, winter and summer.
An imbalance. And the current winter knight is a problem described as a psycho drug addict. Doesn't sound good for stability.
And then things get really tense when Lady Winter arrives. Maeve.
Maeve, yeah. Queen Mab's daughter. Her presence is unsettling, offers Harry a deal, freezes her lemonade solid just by sipping it. Creepy power flex.
And she taunts Lily about dancing.
Yeah, asks if she'll dance for me in the red shoes, Lily. Referencing something unpleasant with a previous night. Just cruel, manipulative winter court stuff. Harry smartly avoids making any deals.
Shows the Fae are definitely involved watching. And what about this filmmaker, Darby Crane?
Right, connected to Nelson of the Con. Smooth at first, flirts with Murphy, then his phone dies mysteriously. His advisor, Lucius Glow, shows up.
And Harry's dog, Mouse, reacts badly to Glow and Harry's name.
Yeah, big warning sign there. Later, Crane finds Harry in that auto shop and basically says Harry's marketable because he annoys powerful people. Like, his notoriety makes him a useful, if dangerous, piece in someone's game.
So back at the hotel, Harry's prepping. Gets a room, pays extra for Mouse. There's that kind of awkward elevator moment with Murphy.
Joking about going up to their room.
Yeah, and Bob the Skull chimes in about Harry never gonna get laid. Always helpful, Bob.
Huh. So Harry's plan is a detection spell, a web word.
For the whole hotel, yeah, to sense bad mojo. But Bob suggests something more aggressive.
Redirect the phages back at the summoner.
Calls it classic White Council doctrine. Risky, though. The warning system, these candles might only give minutes notice, maybe less.
And Murphy agrees to help. Buy time, distract.
Yeah, she's in, shows how much she trusts him, even without fully getting the magic side.
And then Molly turns up again. Needs his bathroom. Says Nelson's is kind of messed up. Harry lets her, trying to be helpful but aware of the awkwardness, her age and state. And she sees his spell set up. Must add to her stress. So Harry waits, spell ready, and nothing.
Just waits? That's gotta be frustrating.
Totally. Calls the summoner, stupid lame ass. Then Nelson called. Hysterical, running. Says his sanctuary, the holy ground, was breached.
Meaning the bad guys found him? He must have seen something crucial.
Exactly. And right then, chaos hits the hotel. Darkness, panic, stampede, people getting hurt, becoming juicier targets. A horrible metallic shriek.
A fight in the dark. Murphy involved.
Sounds like it, someone putting out a light. Then Harry's shield goes up, that ghostly blue quarter dome, blocking a phage. He blasts back with his staff. Forcer.
But it's not enough. He gets captured.
Yeah. Gagged, hooded, dragged off to an auto shop. Chained doors. Crane and Glow are there.
And they have Rollins. Threaten him to control Harry.
Exactly. Harry tries to stall. Learns the White Council has a non-negotiation policy for him. They won't trade for him if he's caught. He's on his own.
And in that low moment, Lashiel appears. Mentally.
The fallen angel. From the coin he picked up, she points out how weak he is. Tired, injured, guilty, frightened. Says his spell will destroy him. Offers him the coin's power instead. protection, strength.
The ultimate temptation. Power when you're desperate.
But he refuses, turns her down.
And then rescue. Thomas.
Thomas bursts in, shotgun blazing, takes down Glau, reveals his white court nature right there. Madrigal, probably Crane or Glau, implies Thomas feeds on people. Glau screams in terror, dragged off by something unseen. More weirdness.
And the scarecrow shows up. For real.
From the movie, yeah. Manifested. Harry fights it. His fire spell doesn't work at first.
So he improvises, pulls power from the environment.
Incredible moment. Draws on the air, the van's engine heat.
Yeah.
Mouse, Rollins, streetlights, water. Channels it all. Fuego.
Incinerates it.
Yep. Burns it to nothing. But as it goes, it says it'll be back. Stronger.
Yeah.
Ominous.
So after the fight, Harry's hurt. Hand, shoulder.
Yeah, Thomas helps him. Rollins goes to the hospital. But then panic sets in again. Molly's missing from the hospital waiting room.
And Nelson, too. And his holy ground was breached.
Right. The threat found Nelson, and now Molly's gone. So they head to the Carpenter house.
And find more trouble.
Daniel Carpenter, one of the kids, is injured. Mumbling about movie monsters Reaper, Hammerhand taking Molly. The family's safe in a panic room. Charity, the mom, is there. Tough.
And Harry feels guilty. Thinks he led the danger to Molly.
Yeah, he fears redirecting the phages might have done it, assuming the summoner was near her or they followed her trail. Crushing guilt.
So they need sanctuary. A church.
St. Mary of the Angels. Father Forthill helps them. Safe place, food. Harry talks to Forthill, confesses his guilt.
And Forthill offers comfort. Perspective.
Encouragement, yeah. Suggests good can come in quiet ways, urges faith.
And this is when Charity reveals her secret about having magic.
Huge reveal. She has talent, but suppressed it. Terrified of the council's laws, the executions, because of her family history.
Yeah.
Didn't want Molly near it.
But realizes Molly was using magic. Influenced by Harry.
Yeah. Ran away, used her talent, maybe saw Harry as this heroic figure using magic, and didn't understand the rules or dangers.
Which leads Harry to a terrible realization about what Molly did. The evidence, Rosie's pregnancy, track marks, Nelson's paranoia.
He puts it together. Suspects Molly used the psychic arm lock, mind magic. On Rosie, maybe to get her off drugs for the baby. On Nelson, maybe to control him or keep him quiet.
Breaking one of the worst laws, mind control. Punishable by
Execution. Charity's horrified. Denies it, then sees it's true. Devastating.
So Molly's not just kidnapped, she's a lawbreaker facing execution if found by the council. And she's been taken to the Never Never.
By fetches. Creatures that retrieve people. They have to find the spot she was taken from, the connection point. But Never Never, geography is tricky. Changes.
And they're running out of time. Sunrise deadline. Harry's injured.
Yeah, about 2 hours till sunrise. Very dangerous. But he has to try Little Chicago again.
Does it work this time?
He tries. Injured. Worried. Feels a psychic recoil. Gets a sense of location. But it feels wrong. Malevolent. Like the attacker, not Molly.
What went wrong?
The trace he used. Molly's old baby hair. Too old. Not accurate enough. The spell fails. He feels he failed her. Completely.
So time's basically up. Capture seems inevitable. What does Molly do?
She decides to face the White Council. Herself.
Yeah!
Which is incredibly brave. Or maybe just out of options.
And the process sounds intimidating. Veil, warden, statue search, blindfold.
Yeah, Harry reflects on the blindfold, how it dehumanizes you, makes it easier for the council to pass judgment.
And their judgment on lawbreakers is usually
Execution. Ramirez, a warden hardened by the Vampire War, points out the council, especially guys like Morgan, aren't feeling merciful. They'd likely see Molly's mind magic as cold, selfish, deserving the penalty.
grim. But then intervention from the Fae.
Totally unexpected. The gatekeeper shows up,
Yeah.
and then Lily, the summer lady, she addresses the Merlin directly, gives sworn testimony.
About Harry praising him.
Yeah, praising his courage, detailing how he saved Molly, fought the fetch, used summer magic, this butterfly thing, calling his actions selfless, honorable, champion-like.
That must change things. The summer court backing him.
Hugely. Summer supports Harry's request. Let Molly become his apprentice instead of execution. They argue her talent's too powerful to waste or leave untrained and dangerous. Training her fulfills the council's mandate and helps the world. Practical Fae logic.
And then her dad arrives. Michael Carpenter.
Right when things are most tense. Papa. Molly runs to him. Harry explains the basics, carefully leaving out Lucille and Charity's magic. Michael just figured God would send a father for his kid, asked Forthill to pass the word. Faith in action.
So, with the gatekeeper vouching for Harry's character-tested sacrifices, refusing power like Lassill's offer.
Plus, Lily's powerful testimony and Michael's presence. The council makes a rare call.
They agree. Molly becomes Harry's apprentice.
Yes. Sentence commuted to apprenticeship. A huge deal for a lawbreaker.
And this leads to another big reveal from Michael about a sword.
He tells Harry he's the custodian of Amarachius, one of the swords of the cross. Harry's shocked. Michael clarifies it was the original Merlin who arranged it.
Why tell Harry now?
Michael has an instinct he won't have the sword much longer. Feels Harry needs to know its history, like his time as a knight is ending.
Wow. And Michael trusts Harry, despite the killing, the darkness.
Completely. Calls him a decent man. Believes he only killed when necessary. Regrets Harry's self-inflicted pain over it. This trust prompts Harry to confess.
About Lucille picking up the coin.
Yeah. He admits he picked up a blackened denarius. Michael just nods. Understands the burden. Knows Harry needs help. A really powerful moment of acceptance between them. So the crisis passes, but life changes. Harry's now got an apprentice, Molly. He lays down the rules.
Living at home, weekly check-ins, daily lessons, homework. Sounds like school.
Pretty much. Weekdays are study, Friday, Saturday evenings are practical lessons. Molly's reaction, hell. I am in hell.
Huh. And Harry asks her that awkward question. Do you boink?
Yep. Direct and uncomfortable. Gets a reaction for sure.
Molly does confess about her magic, though. Discovering invisibility.
Yeah, rainy day, goth clothes. Mom saw her vanish. Got a massive ice cream headache afterward. Then she hit the books, trying to learn on her own.
Harry uses his sight on her, sees potential.
Sees potential, decency, but also the danger. How easily she could misuse it. Gives her that stark warning. Keep it up, and you'll wind up working for the dark side.
Explains it sneaks up on you. Bad guys often don't know they're bad.
Exactly. A key insight. Molly hopes the council sees she doesn't want that. But Harry can't promise they won't just follow the letter of the law anyway. Still, she decides to face them. Asks if her parents can come. Murphy visits too. Returns Thomas's shotgun. Sounds like he's upgrading. They talk police politics.
Fallout from the case. Green, Rick, Rudolph being difficult.
Yeah. Explains why she was sidelined. Harry offers to whack him for her. Loyal friend.
But she takes it in stride, part of the job.
So she fought for her rank in SI. Would do it again, despite the cost. Shows her toughness.
And then we get the bigger picture perspective from Ebenezer, Harry's mentor.
Right. Context time. The Red Court War is still on. Council's worried. They discuss the Scarecrow fetch.
Link it to Maeve. Winter Court, Arctistor.
Strongly suspected. Ebenezer thinks there's an unseen force backstage, manipulating things, maybe even tried to target Queen Mab herself with the attack on Arctistor.
And Harry adds that Maeve is working with Lily, the Summer Lady, because Maeve fears Mab's recent madness.
That's the theory. Lily gave Harry that summer magic butterfly power to threaten Winter's power source.
Forcing Winter back into the Never Never to deal with their unstable night.
Exactly. And Maeve helped by messing with time, making a whole day just poof, a complex Fey political game.
So it wasn't just random monsters, it was Fey politics, maybe driven by something bigger. Ebenezer confirms Fix and Lily aren't traitors.
No, they're caught in this desperate plan, driven by Maeve's fear. Both Harry and Ebenezer agree. There's a new power pulling the strings behind the courts. So the plan now isn't direct action, it's subtle.
Watch, wait, don't reveal they know.
Yeah. Wait for the right moment to make it hurt whoever's manipulating things, Harry agrees. Lie in the weeds, keep a low profile.
And Ebenezer praises Harry for helping Molly.
He does, but Harry just shrugs it off, already worrying about the Merlin being angry about the apprenticeship, always friction with the council, even when he does the right thing.
Okay, so that was a lot. We dove deep into these proven guilty excerpts, and man, it's a tangled web, isn't it? Magical laws, Fey politics, monsters from movies, personal stakes.
It really is. We saw the weight of responsibility, right? Killing the corpse taker, how it lingers. Or Molly's mind, magic good intentions, disastrous, law-breaking consequences.
Yeah, and the lines blur between supernatural types, phobophages eating fear, fetches grabbing people, white court vampires feeding on emotions. It's complex.
And the Fey politics, Maeve and Lily, Summer and Winter ladies, working together because they're scared of Queen Mab. Using Harry as a pawn, that's some next-level maneuvering. It shows that even these ancient powers have fears, agendas.
And it makes you think, doesn't it? How one choice, like Molly using her talent or Harry grabbing that coin, can just ripple outwards and cause chaos. How hidden agendas in these secret power structures affect everyone.
That idea of a new power backstage pulling strings, it kind of resonates, right? That feeling sometimes that big events are driven by forces you can't see or understand gives a creepy structure to the chaos.
So here's the final thought to chew on. The gatekeepers warn about black magic. Harry uncovered this whole fey political thing, potentially aimed at Mab. Ebenezer thinks a new, unknown power is behind it all.
Given all that, who or what really sits those phobophages on SplatterCon? Was Clark Pell just collateral damage, or was the whole thing just one move in a much, much bigger game?
Makes you wonder what that larger game is and who the real players are hiding in the shadows, doesn't it?